Welcome to
Get
Shade and
Shady
the
in the
City.
city.
I'm your girl Treese.
It's Nels.
And today, y'all, we are here to get into none other than the Braxtons. Okay. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. The Braxtons, season 2. This is episode 1. And it has something to do with, give me a second.
Is it like new hustles or something? New hustles and old wounds.
Thank you. And it's literally sitting here in the address bar. I just clearly can't read. But yes, it's called New Hustles and Old Wounds. So yeah, Shade Squad, we appreciate you being here with us and going down this another season of foolishness. Hopefully it'll be a little bit lighter than last season. But yeah, we appreciate you being here and all our new viewers. If you haven't already, please go ahead, do us a favor. Hit that like button.
And that subscribe button.
And y'all, let's jump right into it. And let's get shady.
Like drip, I'm a skyline painter. Shade in the city, true hits like a banger. I said it, I meant it, no need for disclaimers. Haters right away, but they just false claimers. Concrete beats are heavy like cinder. Looking for one, but the streets feel winter. No filter, no edits, I'm raw with my splinters. My life a movie, they watching the trailers. I'm not gonna hold you. Shade in the city, the life in the motion. Like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe. This is my word, I just let you inside. City, I'm not gonna hold you. Shade in the city, my words gon' console you. Like and subscribe if you're feeling the vibe.
So we know that the Braxton girls are back. Okay, Tamar is even back full
She
time.
was
Okay,
looking good.
who?
Tamar.
Maybe I need to when we
The
watch.
black jumpsuit that she had on with the curly hair when she jumped out the car.
Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
I thought she was cute.
I mean, yeah, she has her time. She can be cute. I just can't ignore the hairline that's back here. And then she has, she tries to put down the baby hairs to cover up the fact that there's no hair here, and then throws the wig down. But it doesn't change the fact that there's no hair to baby hair, because she has no edges. But anyway, so shout out
She don't use
Tamar's.
the edges. She don't use the edges from the wig.
No, you ain't never seen. You'll see as the season goes, and you're gonna be like,
Yeah,
oh my god.
yeah. Maybe I don't. Maybe I ain't paying no
That's
mind.
why I was. That's why I was like, did she? Because I guess I'm just so used to seeing her wig be back here and all this.
I still think she cute though. I mean, she has her days, but
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
I thought she was.
So
I thought she was cute in the beginning of this.
yeah, she did her thing. Okay. So yeah, Tamar is back full time. She is not just a friend of the show. I love how they always break the fourth wall. That's personally one of my favorite things about watching the show. Is the fact that they do that and show us so we can't blame it on editing, right?
Mhm.
Because we see the behind the scenes. So I do like that. So we start off with Tamar showing up at a dinner with the rest of her sisters. They're not really feeling her. It's obvious, it's visible.
Especially still to Wanda.
Right, right. And so Tawanda makes it clear that she heard that Tamar didn't want to film with them. And then it starts to go left because I guess Tamar feels offended because she was served a cease and desist from the ladies, or she believes it's from them. And
Well, no,
she pulled,
she said she got the names on the cease and assist.
well, Trina said her name ain't on it.
Yeah,
Okay.
Trina said she ain't do it, and I think it was supposed to have something to do with Gabe, right?
So right, yes, yes, we'll get deeper into that. So yeah, so of course, if everybody isn't aware, just to give a brief rundown, so as we know, Ashley Braxton came out last year, and shared with us, I believe it was a TikTok, and she started sharing her story with the world about how her biological mother abandoned her, after I guess her and her dad weren't getting along, which is the brother Braxton. I guess her and the dad weren't getting along. They got a divorce. Her mother signed over her rights to her father, asked for her name to be taken off the birth certificate, and went on and lived her own life and had her own kids and never reached
This
back
is
out.
with her and the sister.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So then he marries again, and it's a YT woman. So Ashley talks about, and she also accuses, allegedly, because I ain't got time for cease and desist, Michael. And I know you in Maryland. I ain't got time to do it. Okay. Allegedly, she says that he was also a word to his wife, her stepmom, and that transpired into the stepmom being, doing things to them, um, And she talks about just like, there was racial tensions going on because you have this white woman, two black daughters. You know what I mean? It was just a lot. And so basically, the first chance she got to get out of Dodge, that's what she did. And that's why I think she started off in maybe Paris or Italy. And now she lives in Spain and she seems to be very happy there. But
she is twins with Tawanda.
yes, she is. Yes, she is. And so I just felt, so basically, Tamar's point or argument is that y'all said, or Tony didn't want her to come on Tamar's podcast, but she was gonna allow her to come on the show and give her story. So I think that, first of all, I don't know if it's good either way. No, I do think it's good for Ashley to have an outlet, right? And maybe Tamar's podcast would have been the most helpful for her. However, if they were gonna bring her on TV to tell her story, and there was no like therapist present or any, like it wasn't one of those type of sessions, I don't think it would be healthy because it almost is like you're kind of using another one of your nieces and nephews for a storyline again. Because we saw that all last season with Kevin. So that's my only thing. But
so I hear you, but so what I thought that it was on Ashley, and I thought maybe Ashley felt more comfortable speaking to Tamar about what happened, and maybe not the other sisters because they kind of didn't want her to speak about it.
What I got from her story, Tamar did reach out to her after she went public, but to get into the gist of it all, the deep of it all, Ashley says that things took a turn for the worse because if I'm not mistaken, people said, I don't remember seeing her, but people said that she's been on previous seasons before because she was Tony's assistant. So she was working for Tony, traveling her and Tawanda. So it's not like she just lived in Maryland and they had no idea. You know what I mean? What happens in this house stays in this house. It's not like they might not have had any idea of what was really happening. But they might have just minded their business. I don't know. But point is, Ashley says that at one point in time, she went to spend the summer with an aunt. She never gives a name, but she says that her aunt's husband at the time sent her inappropriate messages. And unfortunately, the internet, because somebody brought up the fact about there's a past that we've seen on TV on this show with Gabe and him and Trina going through it because he was sending his text messages and they were having issues in their marriage. So people assumed it was Gabe, and Tawanda went and liked the post, liked the comment. Basically almost kind of like
agreeing,
confirming. And so that's how everybody figured out it was Gabe. And then they started going after Trina. And so Trina's a whole different story because I get where I don't get where she's coming from. And I don't get where she was coming from then. But from what Ashley says, they talked about it. She seemed to be, very supportive and loving and whatever. And then she said things took a turn. And she said, basically, Trina just cut off all communication with her. Like she was the problem. Like,
and it was only Trina that cut off communication with her?
I'm getting that vibe. Well, I don't know. Maybe the other ones maybe the other aunties were talking to her, but I know she specified that, yeah, her and Trina really didn't have like a relationship after that. And she said she was made to kind of feel like, even though she was a child, because I think she said she might have been 15 or 16, even though she was a child, it was almost like she was made to feel like she was coming after him. And so that was her real issue. So I don't know. Again, that's Ashley's story or just my brief account. You can go to her TikTok. I'm sure it's still there, if it's still there, because her dad also threatened to sue her if she continued to share her story.
Threatened to sue Ashley?
His own daughter, yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a lot of deep family stuff. It's a lot of deep family.
I think that's why I kind of thought so I know about Trina, but I thought like she wasn't feeling support from Trina and her other aunts
Then
as
she
well.
may not have been because
But
again,
that's why I assumed that she just wanted to go to Tamar.
I hear what you're saying. I hear what you're saying, but we also have to remember that we've seen Tamar, share with her family the trauma that she's been through and, in therapy and that whole situation and kind of open up. So I do feel like if anybody was the person for her to open up to and could relate to maybe what she went through, it would be Tamar.
Hmm.
So, but anyway, so Tony's not feeling this. She actually calls Tamar's show a chitlin circuit. Um, and I was like, well, damn, Tony. I didn't hear that when I watched like the clip like a few days ago. But I was like, that if I had a show, if we're on a show together, we're doing this show, and
Hmm.
I have my own show, and I'm bringing our niece or somebody that we mutually know on, a mutual family member on, and you tell me you don't want them to go on my show because it's the chitlin circuit. I mean, it is a podcast, but damn, I think Tony, that's kind of below the belt. And so then it gets
I
heated
don't
between.
know. Tony was giving Birdman real quick.
Okay, that man rubbed off on her.
She all up in her face and pushing the table. I said,
Tony said you gonna
"That's
put some respect on my name,
exactly. That's definitely what it was given."
right? So then they jump back to 3 weeks earlier, and we see Ashley and Tamar meet up for dinner. As I said, Ashley has not been back in the States for 10 years. And so they just briefly talk about, how she's doing in Spain. And apparently she's in, I guess maybe she's acting, or she said she was doing commercials, which is really good. I'm happy that she found a place where she has found her peace. And like she said, Spain is home for her, right?
Hmm.
So then we see Tawanda venture over to Trina's house, and she over here trying to make, was she trying to make a espresso martini?
I think so, but slushy.
But that didn't look like espresso.
I didn't know it comes in a slushy. I've never seen it in a slushy.
I've seen it in like a slushy form, but in my mind, it's usually a little bit darker. Maybe I'm wrong because I don't drink. I don't know. Maybe because I probably would have real espresso in my, but neither here nor there. So, basically, Tawanda wants to sit her down. Tawanda can't help but mention every 5 seconds that we
Yes.
know she is getting married because Sean finally proposed last season. And so, yeah, she get married. She get married. That's all she can talk about. Um, and basically, I'll wait to get to the next part. But we do see them have a conversation a little bit later on where she addresses Trina's feelings about how she feels about all this Ashley stuff coming out. We do see Tamar say that unfortunately, the last time she saw Ashley was at her sister Lauren's funeral, which we know Lauren, the other niece of, or the other daughter of the brother, she unfortunately passed away a few years ago. They said it was heart issues. All right.
So the mom still hasn't resurfaced, like after all this stuff?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, that mama, like honestly, and this, I'm sure she feels a way about her mother. And you know what? I feel bad for her on both sides. It's one thing to have a mother and then she abandoned you. Like, I don't want to. She has other kids. That was the thing that surprised me. She went and started a whole new family and wanted nothing to do with them girls. And I guess because maybe he had full custody, which makes me wonder or question what the dynamic in their marriage was, that she was willing, she just wanted to get away from him that badly that she was willing to say, my kids and everything else, I just don't want no parts of it.
But I would assume if it was that bad and you just wanted to get away from him, you could easily gain custody of them and still move away.
Well, we don't know. I mean, I'm not saying this is the case, but I thought about that too. But I don't know. I would have, if it were me, obviously I would have tried. But you also have to think about somebody in the mind. I'm going up against Braxton money. I'm going up against Braxton lawyers. Like, even though he's not in the industry, he still has access to the same type of money. You get what I'm saying? I mean, think about it. If this story, if everything that Ashley is saying is true, think about how long this has went under the
To
radar.
me, it would be disgusting for them to even fund that, knowing the type of father he is.
Well, do you think that, I mean, granted, he grown, she grown, but I'm sure they probably didn't call their brother and say nothing when he sent her that, basically that cease and desist, and said, if you keep talking, I'll sue you.
Mm.
So I get where they coming from and wanting to help her, and they absolutely should. But maybe you need to have a conversation with your brother and hold him accountable as well,
Mhm.
because that's what it sounds like to me. Nobody's holding him accountable, and he just don't want nobody to talk about
Yeah. So Tawanda sits down to talk to Trina. Even production does as well, just to get her feel on how she feels about Ashley having a platform. And really, she has no words. And she said she really didn't want to talk about it. They're delving into it more than she would even like to. And she feels like really Ashley is taking the opportunity without thinking about repercussions. Um, which
that's where
this,
I get what she's saying, but that's one of them things where unfortunately just you even thinking it, especially on a public platform, it's not going to go over well.
then what bothered me was she said the first time she heard about this was on social media. Now I don't know if she means like the first time that she knew she was going to come out about it or what, but according to Ashley, that is not what happened. Um,
I think that's what she means. I think what happened, or I think the internet's problem, from what I've been seeing, and to your point, I think the internet's problem with this whole situation is now you're sitting here upset and feeling like, oh my God, why is she bringing this up? She did a whole live after the show came on with her new husband and was like, Gabe's not here to defend himself. And I just think, you basically, like she said, you got to think about that, before you just, think about the repercussions before you bring. And that was the distasteful part. But the reason the internet is mad is because you knew,
mhm,
you knew.
mhm.
So maybe you should have addressed it then. And I guess maybe she did,
My
but
my
nothing
problem
ever
is
changed because you
also
remember she got back with Gabe.
my thing. You're not addressing that you ghosted this girl after making her feel supported.
Well, according to her, and that's another thing. Well, my number didn't change.
It didn't have to change. You don't have to change your number to ghost somebody.
I guess she's saying like Ashley's did, but my whole thing is, do you know if it changed, or like, do you know that it's changed?
I
Because
just
did you
because
try to call?
you know how many people I can ghost and still have the same number.
Right. That's why I'm like, did you even try to call Trina? Or are you just saying like trying to make that? I mean, I'm a big. I ain't even gonna hold you. Y'all know Trina has always been one of my favorites, and this is literally hard to watch
She
because
ain't
I
been.
know she's made some bad
She ain't
relationship
been my.
decisions.
She ain't never been one of mine.
What are you talking about?
I hate the way she talks.
and
You
that's
ain't
what
making the baby tip
I love.
over.
And I
That's what
love
she
it
sounds
because
like.
she clearly grew up in the same house as all these women, and yet she is the only one with this very special accent. And I love it. I love every minute of it.
Well, Ashley said that she wants to help other people by, sharing what she's going through. And Tamar wanted to make it clear that she's not being messy by having her on the podcast. And, she's giving her a platform to share because she said she did the same thing for Trina. And she said, really, her attraction was Ashley's healing. And Trina is feeling like healing shouldn't unfold before the masses. But when she came to you for healing, you shut her out. So stop it. Ashley said she wasn't this. So this is why I thought she wanted to go onto Tamar's platform rather than on here. She said
Mhm.
that she wasn't expecting any support. And Tamar is the only one who showed her, this amount of support. I think that even watching the conversation between Tawanda and Trina,
Mhm.
and hearing about the cease and assist and like just I would feel like my other aunts didn't support me
I know.
or weren't going
I
to
think that
support
she's definitely rightful in how she feels. I think her feelings are. I'm not saying. Oh, I shouldn't say it's rightful. I think that if she feels that way, her feelings are valid.
me.
And I
Mhm.
think that, unlike what Trina said, yes, she's grown and the phone works both ways. But you, as the aunt, and you, the one feeling like, okay, if it really wasn't that bad and you really are supportive and you know this was wrong, there's nothing, I feel like there's nothing keeping you from reaching out to her, and whether it be a TikTok and you send her a message. Now, whether she reads it, but you can at least say that you tried. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And I think that's the piece that was missing for me for Trina. Is she was more trying to put the ball in her court versus take accountability of what she could have done as her aunt,
I think
especially
what
since it
I
was
think
her husband
I
that
think what bothers me is Ashley's not saying that she didn't feel supported at all by Trina, because then you can question, well, what did she do or what did she not do to
right,
make you feel unsupported? And maybe, you can question, maybe you just felt like she didn't do enough, but maybe she
right,
tried. But to say that she felt supported, so whatever you were doing before to make this girl feel supported, she feels like it stopped
right.
and she no longer felt supported. So that means you were no longer doing it,
I
which
agree.
which is disgusting to me.
No, Trina's getting a lot of right now. And like I said, that after that recap that she did with her husband, that was probably not a good idea because she just made it worse. Because she's standing 10 toes down. And at this point, your best bet is to just say, I'm sorry, take accountability, and how can I fix it? Or how can I try to fix it?
Or brush it under the rug like you did in the past and hope that we forget about it.
Because it was why, and I love when Tawanda said, well, this has been needed to be talked about for a while. Because when they showed the footage of all of them, because remember, I said, apparently she was on the show before, she was working with them, da da da. So they
Mhm.
clearly had a close relationship.
Yeah.
So it's, I don't know, it's wild. It's wild.
Mhm.
And I mean, clearly y'all got to be close if your daddy's sending you out there to spend, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Spend summers there. So I don't know. So we see Tawanda. She apparently is acting and directing this film right now. She said it's going to be on the Prime, it's going to be on the Tubi, it's going to be on the Pluto. Anything you got, Philo, she got it for you. Okay.
At least it ain't just Tubi.
Okay. I give it that. So shout out to
It's on
Tawanda.
some paid subscriptions.
Right. So shout out to Tawanda, the true Virgo. Right. So and she's just talking about, trying to make everything perfect and in true Virgo fashion. And it's hard to be on both sides of the camera at the same time. So then we see Tamar. She decided that she's gonna get her a liquid BBL. Let's just call it thing a thing. And so she's about to prepare. She's getting ready to go on tour with October London, which is past. And so she, and that makes a lot of sense because I've seen a lot of clips from her on tour, and she was shaking that like nobody's business. And now it makes sense. Now I know why. Because if I had a whole new ass, I shake it too. So, but Tamar's a little freaked out. And y'all gotta understand. I gotta be animated like this because my fellow Pisces is animated. We can't do nothing like low key. Everything is high, right? So Tamar is freaked out after seeing all the needles, and so she's like, you know what? She's trying to find ways to sneak out of the joint, and even her, I think,
Talking about go distract her while I.
right. And then I think even her male assistant, he was like, oh, I think we left something in the car. And he has her leave, and they literally about to roll out. And then she was like, nah, I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna leave my doctor hanging. And I was like, nah, because I'm sure you already put down a deposit, sis. I mean, granted, not saying she wouldn't walk away from it.
No,
And
if she couldn't have
and
done
I,
that
can,
day,
I,
she
can
probably
I be
already
very
faced it.
honest?
Hmm.
That was a very like I love that scene, even though it probably was just for comedic relief, and she probably was going to do it anyway. I love that scene because that was a true Pisces moment. Like I could say I want some to do something until I have to do it, and I'd be like, oh no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. No, I'm good. I'm good. And depending on the situation and where I'm at, if I can get out of it, I will. And be like, I ain't do it. I ain't do it. I was scared. But sometimes I gotta get through the shit. And that I was like, yeah, Tamar, unfortunately, you are a Pisces.
So after Tamar is being all dramatic about it being 177 needles, 1,000 needles, we find out that it's actually 28, which is still a lot. And then what are they injecting? Does this stuff dissolve?
I don't know. That was a thing. Look,
And she had to be awake for it, but I guess they gave her laughing gas and stuff like that.
Yeah,
So
I love how Tamar was on there. I said, okay, that now, if you gonna get me through it, the way she was sucking on that laughing gas like it was a hookah, I said, okay, that you might have been able to get me to sit through it, but it still feels like she could still feel it. So
yeah, she
what
could
is
still
the
feel it. I guess you can't feel it fully. But remember, she said, I hate when doctors use that word, but they told her that she was going to feel discomfort.
not the way she, unless it was just for dramatics, which again,
No, I believe
yeah,
she felt it.
right, the way she was hollering and
I
hitting high
get, but
notes.
but I'm sure if they didn't give her anything, then it would be way worse.
Jesus on the main line.
Well, apparently she got her boobs done. So she was also uncomfortable with that, trying to lay on her boobs that were freshly done and get this procedure done. And the boobs is looking good. The boobs is boobing. I don't remember seeing what the butt looked like afterwards, but the boobs look good.
No, the boobs look good. They look better than that half wig she wore to that appointment with her
You
hairline.
saw she put a band over it. You saw
I
she
was
put a
thankful
head.
that she put a band over because when she walked in there and it was back here, and I said, "Where's the headband,
You had plenty of
Tamar?
space for a headband.
You know you have no hair right here.
She put a
Where's
headband on,
the
and
headband?"
it helped. It looked a lot cuter.
It did look a lot cuter, and I was like, "Look
Hmm.
how you say band can save lives." I'm telling you,
It's like hat fishing.
hat
Um,
picture, right?
so then we see Trina. She met up with Miss E, and apparently Trina is doing real estate now, and she's already about to close on a house.
Kudos, confetti to Trina.
Yes. And they're also planning for
But it
Tawanda.
sounds like they were already in the like maybe they were investment property business and maybe that's why she was like because it sounds like they already had properties and it sounds like that they were hiring someone else to
I'm not
like
gonna lie to
show.
you. After the last scene, it's hard for me to care.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So then we see that they're planning for Tawanda's bachelorette party in Tulum. But they know that it has to be perfect. Tawanda has to have it perfect. And
Because that's such a Virgo thing.
they bring up the fact that
Perfection.
that she's a Virgo, and they have this whole Virgo bashing session about how she needs to be involved in everything. They even show where she was a birthday Zilla. And I guess it was something with the color purple, and I don't know, it had to be a specific color. We just like details. I don't know what this whole thing
No,
was.
I feel their pain. Y'all, let me this is story time. This is sidebar. Let me share with y'all, right?
You have a story to
I
tell?
was trying to plan this girl's, but we was getting working with her mans and them for her little birthday trip and whatever, and trying to make things and execute and do all the things. And I had no choice but to drop certain details just so she wouldn't be on my line or his asking questions, 50, 111 questions. But it's very much so they want to be involved. So to pacify her, I had to give her very small little nuggets so she felt like she had some control in the situation so she didn't crash out. Am I right or am I wrong?
Wasn't a surprise birthday party or something?
I didn't have a
I'm not
very, I
saying
didn't look,
I
I didn't
shouldn't
had
be
a Virgo
involved.
sister for a very long time. I know who she is.
We do like to have some type of involvement.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, the only way to get away is like if we absolutely don't know anything about it, and then that could also be an issue.
Right.
Moving on.
I'm just saying you invited the I'm just like, girl, I don't know if you want to open this door because bitch, I'm gonna walk through it.
I didn't invite it. They was talking about it. Okay, I would have never talked about the Virgo passion session.
So we go to see Tony. She is meeting with a producer. I did not get that young lady's name. Well, I didn't get her name. Okay. But she's a very well-renowned producer, was worked on a lot of TV and stuff. And so she's trying to do something. I was confused because at first I thought she was trying to do something on alimony, but then she switched it up about pitching this idea for a show or a movie about a celebrity, and then there's a male celebrity pretending to be them, and then she has to pretend to be the male celebrity to prove that it's her. And I was like, girl. And the fact that I don't know if this lady was paid to be here, but the fact that she was like eating this up, and I'm sure some people will watch this. Like I'm sure somewhere on Tubi
I
there is a
I
beach.
lost interest even hearing her explain it. I didn't even know what she was talking about. She's like, then I have to learn how to pretend to be him, and it's giving if I were a boy. I don't know.
Yes, that's what it was giving, right?
I
Bless her
yes.
heart. Tony tried. So Tamar, we see her, she's getting ready for the podcast, and all with Ashley. And we see her getting ready with crew. Her booty is right and tight. And so she was like, we see her say a prayer, which we know I've seen her in many of her pre-shows where she does a prayer. But what I thought found funny was at the same time, as soon as she does a prayer, then she starts taking shots. And I literally thought when it was done with that shot, they said, Jesus.
Is it a problem because it ain't wine? What's she got the Lord out the way, and now it's time to drink? What?
You know what? Y'all ain't living right. Y'all ain't living right. But but no, so yeah, that was pretty much the episode. And so I guess next episode 2 we'll get a little bit more of what Ashley has to disclose on her podcast and what she went on Tamar's podcast and what she went through. But that's really all it gave us. Nels, do you have anything to add?
No, that was
Yeah.
pretty cool.
But I mean, I will say, coming off of season 1, I was definitely feeling like, I don't know if I want to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But I will say, based off episode 1 of this season, I think that we're coming in a little lighter. But y'all let us know what y'all thought in the chat, or in the comments, I should say. If you guys have not already, please make sure that you hit that like button
And a subscribe button. Make sure you comment. My bad.
Look, make sure you subscribe.
And hit the notification bell.
I would get on her about being on her job, but since I showed up late to work on Sunday, I ain't gonna do that. But what I will say is make sure that you guys catch us. We will be bringing you a sip and shade tomorrow. Obviously, we know we got a lot of things to talk about, hot topics wise. So be on the lookout for that. Yeah, y'all. We thank you for supporting us, and we will catch you next time. Make sure you following us on all the platforms. That's TikTok, IG, Facebook, Blue Sky, and Eliminate. And yeah, we love y'all. Catch y'all next time. Bye bye.
Good night.